Assalamu alaikum students, my name is Dr. Asad and now we will discuss about bone marrow and hematopoiesis. First of all, we have to know about what is bone marrow. As we all know about what is bone marrow is spongy and we can say that soft part of any bone for the production of blood cells. Which blood cells? Like red blood cells, platelets, white blood cells. We in short form we can say that RBCs, WBCs and platelets. Now we have know about that already what is bone marrow, but we don't know about that what is hematopoiesis. Now we will discuss about what is hematopoiesis and how he linked with bone marrow. Okay. First of all, we have to know about what is hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis is a process, or we can say that a mechanism by which the production of blood cells is held, like RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. Okay. And how it is held? Now we'll discuss about from start, from beginning, from fecal life or embryonic life. We can say that. Okay, like this is empty. Okay, at the beginning of embryo, there is some cells are present in the yolk sac. What is it? It is yolk sac. Okay. In beginning, these cells which are present in yolk sac are responsible for the process of hematopoiesis, for the process of blood cell productions. Okay, and what these cells are called? These cells are called hematopoiesis stem cells. Okay, now recap it. What are hematopoiesis stem cells? Like the cells which are responsible for the production of blood cells. Which blood cells? RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. Okay, what is full name of hematopoiesis stem cell? You know about what are stem cells? I think you don't know about the actual definition of what are stem cells. Okay, first we will discuss about what are stem cells and what is the actual definition of stem cells. Now okay, we're gonna discuss about stem cells. Okay, you know what? Stem cells have very unique property which other cells don't have. What is that property? We will discuss about. Stem cells have a unique property in which when it's multiply asymmetrically. Okay, and it's some of cells are going to be as a well differentiated product and mature cells, we can say that, like RBCs, WBCs, platelets. Okay, but some cells of it are responsible for its own population. How? Let's see. Okay, this is a stem cell. Okay, when multiply it's multiply asymmetrically, like it's multiply again and again, not multiply, further processed. Okay, and it's form a well defined product, a mature product. Okay, but this is a unique property. Another thing, what is it? When it's multiply asymmetrically, some of group are responsible for maturation of some cells. Okay, and some cells are responsible for its own population, to maintaining its own population. How? That's, let's suppose we can understand by an example. Okay, like here we have a cell which is it erythroblast. Okay, erythroblast. We will take this cell and put it into a petri dish. Petri dish. Okay, after we're putting it in a petri dish, we will give it all growth factors, all the nutrition which it needs to growth or to produce. After its production or growth, we will find a mature and well defined, we can say that, red blood cells, RBCs. Okay, RBCs we find, but we will not find any cell of erythroblast. Okay, and other hand, when we put a stem cell in a petri dish, let's suppose This is a stem cell. We put it into a petri dish. Okay. We will give him also all the growth factors, nutrition, all the things it needs. Okay. But at the end, we will also find the same thing: RBC cells, blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. But we also find another thing. What is it? Stem cells on. Why? We read that it has a unique property. It can also making a mature cells and also have a ability to maintain its own population. Okay, like it's a multiply, but some of cells are responsible for its making own population. Are you understanding me? What I'm saying? At simpler, what is its definition? At simple, we can say that stem cell have a unique property in which it's multiply as asymmetrically. Some group of cells are making and goes to the mature cells and well-defined cells, and some cells are responsible for its own population. Okay, are you understanding what is stem cells? What is the actual definition of stem cells? I hope you will understand. The properties stem cells have, that's the unique property. What is it called? It is named as a self-renewal. What is it? Self-renewal. Okay. That's only stem cells have, nothing another cells have. Okay. Now further move again to the topic. What is it? Bone marrow and hematopoiesis. Okay. Again we will go. We have this curve. There we have some cells which we say that hematopoiesis stem cells, at which time they are present in yolk sac at third week. Okay. After that, what will gonna happen? These stem cells move from here yolk cells to another areas of embryo like liver, spleen, bone marrow, and the point which is additional here, they can also take origin on mesoderm of aorta, on mesoderm of gonads, and some other areas. Like they are moving from here to liver, spleen, bone marrow. But after the migration of liver become a major organ for production of blood cells. We also know that which blood cells, that all blood cells, okay? But timely, these cells migrate from here to another side, which is it? It is, let's pause, it is vertical column, okay? These cells migrate from here to here, vertical column. But what is the time? Its time is 3 months. 3 months of 3 months of embryonic life. Okay, but there is another thing which we have to know about, that after the birth, okay, after the birth, the liver have stopped its hematopoiesis function, and all the functions are held about the blood production in only bone marrow, not another thing, not another area. Okay, further we discuss about it that hematopoietic cells, when goes to the bone marrow, they will make a bone marrow which is reddish in color. Okay, you know what? The active bone marrow, the active bone marrow called red bone marrow. Another thing we have that inactive bone marrow. Inactive inactive marrow called, what is it called? It called yellow bone marrow. Okay, why it is called red baby bird? All the productions of blood are going to happen into the from the bone marrow. Okay, but here we new things we discuss about red bone marrow and yellow bone marrow. Let's talk about here difference. Okay, like red bone marrow and we have here yellow bone marrow. Why we call it yellow and why we call it red bone marrow? First, if we talk about yellow bone marrow, some bone marrows become inactive and their hematopoiesis process are not held and there is a percentage of fat cells are increased. That's why it's look like a color of yellow. That's why we say that it is yellow bone marrow. Why? Because increasing of fat cells, we say that it's yellow bone marrow. But if we talk about red bone marrow, in this bone marrow, hematopoiesis process is involved. There is a lot of production of red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets that give him a red color. That's why we say that it's red blood bone marrow and active bone marrow. It is inactive bone marrow. But here is a something that we also have to need about that it's inactive bone marrow, but it's also have a ability to perform hematopoiesis when there is need of bone marrow. We can say that production of red blood cells it's also convert from inactive form to the active form for the production of blood cells. Okay, further we will discuss about an example in which we will understand when there is need of yellow bone marrow convert to the red bone marrow. Okay, first we'll discuss about something another thing which is what is it? Extramedullary hematopoiesis. It is an abnormality. Abnormality means that there is a process held hematopoiesis outside the bone marrow into another parts of the body. Okay, we abnormally we know that after birth the only production of blood cells held in bone marrow membranous bones. Okay, like uh, not in liver. Normally no hematopoiesis have to be held on liver, spleen or from lymph node. Okay, at which time? After the birth of baby. Okay, but in some cases there is a production or we can say that stem cells are live on, we can say that liver or another areas of the body, they also perform a hematopoiesis process. That case we will say that this person have a disease we can say that we can say that abnormality which is extramedullary hematopoiesis. Okay, come to the back that we are going to discuss about an example in which we will discuss that why how yellow bone marrow convert into red bone marrow. Look, here is an example that hemolysis means that a person have a strange hemolysis, like a person got accident and here have a cut or injury from where a lot of blood is out. Okay, a lot of blood comes out from its body and there is a lot of need of blood. At that point the yellow bone marrow convert into